What's up YouTube, it's Jamin09. So I'm coming out today with a quick deck profile of Constellars. Like I said, I was going to do this, so I decided I was going to end up doing it today. And this is just a quick little deck profile. I'm not going to go over the extra deck first, just wanted to kind of zoom in on that one. Let's go ahead and zoom out. And then I'm going to go over the monsters, spells, and traps. So, the monsters, you have to run 3 Pollock. It's mandatory. It's the caster of the deck. 3 cows, you have to run 3 cows as well if you want this deck to function at all. I only run 2 Algetti because it can get Veilered, and Veilered's going to see a lot of play. Trust me, Veilerd will see a lot of play this next format, so it's going to get Veilered. And so will cows, so you have to be careful. Most of the time, how I beat the deck is I Veilerd the cows after he switches 1 level, and then, they can't go into anything. You got 3 Sombre. It's pretty much what happens after you get a couple of these monsters. 3 Sheraton. I forgot to add the Book of Moon into this deck. I would put Book of Moon in here so you can book your own Sheraton or book the other monster. 1 Honest, 1 Brotherhood of Firefist Bear, and 2 Veilerd, because Veiler's pretty much awesome. Veilerd pretty much wins you some games when... definitely, I'm going to talk about Veiler's in another video, because y'all need to pick up Veiler's, y'all need to start maining 3, and I'll let you know why in the next video, so come back to that. So I'm going to put this off to the side and go over the spells. And the spells, you definitely have to run Reinforcement Army to get your Pollux, just because, that's a mandatory must-have. Gotta have the Pollux. 3 Tenki to search out either the bear or the cows, so you can start going off like that. 2 MST, because you're worried about back row, but you're not really worried about it, because they do your Pollux, you can always go to the cows and still do some damage. 2 Lance to make sure that you don't get bottomless. 2 Pot of Duality so you can go, search if you have a bad hand, and you normally side these out. But if you have a bad hand first game, you can go into that, and so you don't have special summon, but you just kind of go Sheraton, search, book, Pot of Duality. Hopefully you have book and go that way. Monster Born, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, the Trinity. You gotta have those. Definitely with Omega, you can Dark Hole the field and not lose your monsters. And then 2 Fiendish. Gotta have the Fiendish because it's like an extra effect Veiler. And you've already used yours. 2 Bottomless. Gotta have the Bottomless. 2 Compulse. It's like you're maining 5 Compulses whenever you get... or maining 4 Compulses whenever you get plays on the field. Mirror Force, do 2 Solemns and Starlight Road because you play back row and you don't want it to get destroyed too terribly much. And also, you have the ability of getting Dark Hold, and it's also helps out against Dark Hole. So, it's actually a really good card. I know everybody knows about that. So, I'm going to go into the extra deck. You got 2 Pleiades because it's what you want to go into if you can. 2 M7s, so when everything else has no XCs or materials, you go into M7, recruit back a monster, and just go at it again. 2 Omegas because, you gotta make sure that you can't get hit by spells and traps. 1 Parepsies because you might want to go in and try to run over somebody. 1 Volcasaurus, 1 Gaia Charger, 1 Paladynamo. You have to have the Gaia Charger, you have to have the Paladynamo. It makes the deck better. Cowboy, Ship, Shockmaster, the Djinn, and 1 Stardust for Starlight Road. That's it on the deck profile, guys. It's a really good deck. I would say try it out. The only thing I'm going to say is that it's going to get a little bit of hype because it pretty much compulses everything, and whenever people start using all their resources, you can just compulse everything back and just get everything off the field. And you can compulse back row. This guy compulses back row, so it's actually a really good card. If you can get him out, you have the Lance to save your monster from getting bottomless and any of that stuff. You can definitely save your monster. You can also, when Omega comes out, you can quick chain. So if they bottomless, you go chain. If you go, I believe you can. It's a once per turn, it's a quick effect, so he gets summoned to the field. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 XC material from this card. All Constellar monsters you currently control are unaffected by spells and traps. So you can, if I'm not mistaken, go ahead and quick chain that. So when he goes on the field, it's like, nope, you can't bottomless, you can't Fiendish. Well, they can Fiendish, and he'll be affected by Fiendish chain after that turn, but that turn you won't be able to finish him. But it's a good deck, guys. Make sure I would run book. Right now the deck's at 40. I would run 41 because I'd want the book in my deck. Because you have to book the Sheraton. You don't want him to get run over, and he's got 1900 defense. So I mean that's a pretty high defense. But yeah, definitely main at least 2 Veilers in this format at the moment because you need the Veilers. But you're gonna want to start running 3. Trust me when I say you're gonna want to start running 3. There's so many different ways that Veiler can get you out of hairy situations. And don't get me wrong, it's bad if you open up double Veiler and no other monsters in your hand. But there's so many ways that Veiler helps that it helps more than it hurts. Trust me on that, guys. I've got out of so many situations because Veiler is just awesome. But alright, guys, that's my deck profile of Constellars. Let me know what y'all would change about it. I'm thinking about adding in 2 Thunder Kings so that it kind of becomes like anti-meta where they can't add to hand, and it also stops Fire Fists because they can't add stuff to their hand like Tinky or with Tinky and stuff like that, so they gotta get over him first, which kind of sucks. But alright, guys, let me know what you think about this deck profile, and like, comment, subscribe, and later, guys.